And without further ado, I'd like to call Miss Reddy to now give her keynote, which will focus on her perspective as the Director of Education in Delhi. Thank you.
Very good morning to all of you present here today. To Mishra sir, to Malik sir, and to Miss Shweta, to all the distinguished members present here, to all the experts in various domains related to climate change present here. It's really my privilege and honor to be amongst all of you here. So firstly, I must thank Ms. Shweta for inviting me with such warmth. And I must say that we should begin this session today by giving her and her team a huge round of applause for all the efforts that they're putting in the right direction. And I really hope that, like you started the session with, that this is your first annual conference that you're organizing. I hope that we see much more programs from your side, and from the Directorate of Education, we would love to collaborate with you. With that, I think Shweta and Mishra sir have mostly covered on all the topics related to climate change and how we should fight it. From the education sector, I was just thinking about it, that like sir mentioned, it's actually the reality that we live in, and more so for Delhi, as all of you can feel it, whether it be the climate change or whether it be the weather disturbances. Whether it be the forest fires, the wildfires, or whether it be the floods or the droughts, a student entering school in, say, primary class, nursery class, would no longer see the world as it is today after they graduate from school. A world would be of a different place, it will be a different place altogether, a place where millions are displaced because of the floods and droughts around us, a world where probably the most important job that one could secure would be in the environment sector, would be in renewable energies, and a world where it is not that the climate change is surrounding us, but it is literally where we are living in. And so much to do, and they would not know what has struck them in the years that they have passed out of school in. And that's mostly because, like sir said, we're talking about don't do this, don't do that, but nobody is really talking about what should one do. And I feel that a curriculum like what has been said by Shweta and her team is one of the first works that needs to be done in the education sector. The most important part being that yes, we need to have a curriculum, we need to talk about it. I still remember whilst I was in school, there was a huge awareness program going on that one should not burst crackers. And I would actively burst crackers before that, and it would be one of those fun events where the entire family would get around. And I remember that the year that the students were made to parade on the streets from their respective schools and kind of take on the banners stating that, you know, we should not burst crackers. That year, at least 80% of us did not burst crackers at home. While I don't know what is the right thing or the wrong thing, I can just say this, that the students are the most important sector, and they are the most important messengers that one can have. And rightly so, the word warrior. So if we don't educate them, we don't let them understand what this climate change is all about, or why we are grappling with hybrid education or other sorts of education, whilst not having the right equipment to deal with it, then what is really the way forward? One is that yes, they need to understand the issue. The other aspect is they need to adapt to it. The third is we need to protect the world that we are living in. And the fourth is how do we rebuild from today? And the first thing, like we spoke, that is only and only possible once we speak about or we teach them about what climate change is. Not the regular, okay, this is disaster, this is a natural hazard, but what are the issues surrounding it? Like Sir mentioned it in a holistic way, how it is affecting the health of an individual to how it is affecting the society as a whole. And the other aspect I think which is very important is you can't just create a curriculum without having a motivated teacher community to deal with it, or an active community to kind of portray it again and again. What we really need is professional development for our teachers, for our educators, who know the importance of why we need to teach about climate change. And while we do so, I also think that when we're talking about curriculum, it should not be a standalone curriculum. It should not be that we have a specific textbook to deal with climate change. It should be integrated in each of our subjects at various levels. When you talk about science, maybe we need to talk about the renewable, non-renewable type of energy resources and how that small observations or innovations or experiments can help us to fight the weather disturbances or the climate change in a whole. When we talk about maths, maybe we should talk about how to use data, of how probably data at a school level could also help in managing the systems more efficiently, more conservatively. When we talk about a school, maybe a school should be a model, sustainable kind of hub where you see the active experiments being done on how. So recently we started curriculum, sort of like a program called the Rashaniti, wherein we are trying to develop the leadership program of leadership within and outside of the school community. And the first stakeholder and the most important stakeholder in that is the student. So, more or less, we're trying to form a student cabinet and we're trying to tell them that yes, you are responsible for the running of your school. You decide why your school has to pay a particular amount for the water bill or the electricity bill, and can you help or do anything to reduce it, or can you do anything to see that yes, it is a sustainable practice or not. And trust me, when we tried this out, we've seen, though of course I don't have the statistics as of now immediately, but we have seen that there's a lot of change in it, lot of change in perspective of the student. And you will see that there's a lot of change in the cleanliness of the school as well. When you tell the students themselves to be the ones responsible for it. So, till it begins at home, it won't really change anything, I feel. And that's why it's so important to talk about climate change perspective in education. Because when you make them realize that, okay, you doing the smallest little thing can impact your school in such a big way, then we get more such messengers. They'll go back home, they'll speak about it, and you will see a change in it. Of course, we need solutions at a global level, we need a solution at the state level, and those things will be there. However, the first thing that struck me in your presentation as well was, even if you teach 16% of your students, then you're making a massive change. And that's what I think we should all collaborate to work on. And when we talk about it, it cannot be so simply done, because there's a pressure of learning outcome. There's so many things in an education setup, right? Even as a director, I would think twice. When she brought me her idea, I thought, but what about the learning outcomes in the class? Will they be affected? How many periods do you need? That's what one thinks of, because there is some sort of gap. Maybe we are not able to adapt it completely. So what should it be so that it is integrated in such a way that it actually enhances your learning capabilities as well? Because that is your future. You are going to walk into something where this is what you need to talk about, where this is what the jobs will be created around. So I hope that when we talk about this, first is, of course, the students that we talked about. The next is the teacher capability. And the third is having active collaboration and active partnerships with the NGOs, with the civil society, and with those who actually have the solutions in this field. That is one. And the other one would be having active collaboration with, say, a school network and a college network. So there is continuity in what you're being taught. So it is being re-emphasized to you at every junction of your education that yes, this is important, this is what we need to talk about. It should be a part of our day-to-day life. And of course, a collaboration between the state, between those who make the policy and those who are in the schools as well. So, kind of organizing maybe hackathons, maybe getting to know the solutions from the grassroots level. And the other perspective that I think is very important in climate change is bringing equitable opportunities for all. While I take care of those students who are probably considered as the have-nots, like Sir mentioned in his keynote speech as well, these are the students where we are promoting, say, a hybrid mode of education or kind of cancelling the classes, but they are the ones who have no devices or very limited devices. So making that access is also very important, because it's not that we can rebuild it in a day. It is not possible. It will need a lot of collaboration and maybe just not copy paste like it was mentioned earlier. It requires a lot of us to bring in all our heads together. But I think it's a safe place to start, and that is at the school level. And slowly, in the next 10 to 12 years, when the child is out of school, he or she knows that yes, I'm completely equipped. I have been taught about it. I completely understand it. And I am ready to rebuild the world. It's not that we were not educated about it. But frankly speaking, we are from a different generation altogether. Most of us sitting here are from the Gen X or the Gen Z, Gen Y, maybe the millennials. But the ones we are dealing with are the Gen Z, and most of them are getting out of school now, the Gen Alpha and the Gen Beta who are just born. So there's a lot of generational gap. It is important that and if you ask me, I don't think there has been that much of a change that you can feel in the climate except for the last 5 to 7 years. Before that, probably it was like a stagnant thing. We would not feel it, we would talk about it. And now it is becoming a harsh reality for all of us. So slowly, things may get worse, but we also have to understand that it's a different generation altogether that we're dealing with. It's not that they don't have access to information. They have access to much more information than us. They know exactly where to get the information from. So we also need to play a role of a facilitator in their lives, of kind of nudging them to believe that yes, this is what the way forward for you could mean. And I genuinely hope that from this is a very, very small yet very important, I would say, curriculum that we have launched in collaboration with Shweta in our schools, just 10 of our schools. But I hope that we're able to read or learn about it after the next 6 months. We're able to grow from there, and we're able to bring it in at least Delhi and similarly to other parts of the country. And I really hope that today's session, I was seeing the panel discussions on very, very relevant and important topics. I hope that they go really well. I'm feeling very happy to be amongst so many of you experts. And I'm sure that everybody will bring a different perspective on the table. And the right way forward is really not there. We have to form it. We have to work together. We have to collaborate and bring it. And I hope that from the Directorate of Education, you will always be supported. And we hope that from this meeting, will also be given more such insights as to how we should grow from this day forward and work towards it. And thank you so much for Shweta for calling me here. And thank you so much, Mishra sir and Malik sir and all the members here for allowing me to be here a part of this program. Thank you. Thank you so much.